What's up, guys? Hopefully you're able to see this okay. It's kind of a bright light up here. But I got some Alabama Coastal. This is some heated Coastal Plains Chert that I got. It's got some shells, which is kind of cool. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Haven't worked this piece. I've actually had this piece for quite some time. I just haven't done anything with it. So, what do I want to keep? Well, I'm noticing that my tip is right here. So that's where I want my center line to be, is somewhere around there, which means I need to remove a little bit off here. But the base is also kind of low. So we'll just go with it. We'll figure out what we want to do as we go. Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan. I generally don't like hitting off the base just because I like to keep the length. So we'll hit from the side. Okay, yeah, looks pretty solid. This really nicely heated Coastal reminds me of coral. Kind of works the same. Very similar. Now we're going to catch that little hump there. Right here. Still enjoying these boppers from Richard White. You can find them on Facebook. I know I mention them all the time, but I do like his boppers. Particularly the big one. I think this is the 2-inch. So because of a little seam, we weren't able to get quite the result we're looking for. But maybe we can get it here. Maybe. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. Sometimes when the Cortex is involved, Coastal can be a bit tricky. You never know how dense it can be. Now this is kind of interesting. There wasn't really a platform that, well, I guess there was, but it was higher up, if that makes sense. So instead of hitting on the lowest area, hit a little bit higher because I'm trying to undercut a lot of the Cortex. Like here, say, well, I may hit there. Should be all right. And it was. And by the way, when I flatten out this area here, as you see we just did, that flattens out an area that we want to strike into. You know, this setup platform here. It'd be pretty cool if we could keep that little fossil in there. I don't know if many of you know this. I think only if you're close to me you are aware of this. But I actually started this channel out, it's pretty translucent, as a fishing channel. Now, I still have all my fishing videos privated, but a friend of mine wanted to see them. And so I sent some of them, and let's just say they're very cringy. So is it possible that I'll look back on this video, you know, I think that video was 7 years old. Is it possible that I'll look back 7 years from now and just say, Jake, what in the world are you thinking? Will it be as cringe then as it is now? I could make an argument for no, because I was pretty young. I won't give my age, but I was pretty young when I did those fishing videos. This should be a nice flake here. Yeah. But looking back on them, I was just a kid. Let's see. There we are. Sometimes you have to hit from the base to even it out. So that's usually my rule of thumb. Unless there's a really good platform, I won't hit from the base often, unless I'm trying to even it out. Like I'm not gonna keep an uneven base. It's gotta be evened. Then these big ridges, you can either take from here, from the side. If you can take them from the side, that's ideal. But you can't always do that. And I may want this to be a wide point. So I may come from the base here anyways, because I'd have to remove quite a bit of length to set that up. All right. So that was quite good. Now, as for wide points, in the South, speaking of different styles, levy points are pretty wide, Pickwick points are pretty wide. Those are stem points. But if you're thinking about points that have just a wide base and no stem, Colbreths, citrus, but citruses are, I don't know, they're kind of a unique, you know, you may think that it'll be wide, but honestly, to make them look authentic, aren't as wide as you might think. Obviously, all your paleo looking blades, so that's true. But definitely a Colbreth and Ocala point as well. Is a good one. And I've made both. You can also do a wide Chert corner knot. Which in my humble opinion, I might get some slack for this, it's just a whittled down Chert corner notch. That's all it is. And I know that there are different subtypes of Chert corner notches, especially in the South. You got your classic base, your low base, you know, whatever. And there are certain distinctions, but generally speaking, same doings, you know. Base looks a little different depending on the area you find a point in. It's the same thing. Now this is a really hot take. Those of you in the South, you're gonna think I'm blaspheming you. But I think boggy branches, boggy branch 1 and boggy branch type 2, I think they're both a boggy branch. They're from the Kirk family, we know that. They're always raw, just about always raw. I don't know if a heated one's been found. They're kind of archaic period. But, I mean, come on. You got people who type a boggy branch type 1, a boggy type 1, but it'll have a boggy type 2 base because it won't be, it'll have a bulbous base, but it'll have that little divot in the base. I don't know how to explain that. Kind of like this, a little divot in the base. So imagine this is a big old bulb, and then you have that little, well, I mean, boggy ones have that too. Now, it gets really tricky when you try to identify a first stage boggy 1 and a first stage boggy 2. Now, I'm not gonna get into all that because why do y'all want, y'all don't want to hear all that, but I think a boggy's a boggy. And, you know, again, you go to different, locations, this part of Georgia or Alabama or Florida, this part, it may look a little different, slightly different. It's the same doings. Now that I'm off that tangent, this is a nice piece of coastal. Again, we got these little fossils here, but there's none of that in here. Again, I only work stuff, coastal plains material that's pretty clean. I don't really enjoy stuff that's got a lot of fossils in it. That's just not fun. I can, and I do, but I just, like, why? You know, only got so much time on Earth. Now, if there's something like incredibly unique that has a fossil in it, like, all right, I'll do it. But I'd rather work the best stuff. I knew it. There was just something weird going on with that platform. This one may not take either. Let's see. It undercut the shell, but not like all the way. That's okay. It would be cool if the shell was kept on this one. It'd look fantastic. I don't know if we'll do it though. Depends on, because we still got to get rid of this cortex. Let's see, yeah, it might not be in there. But we'll see. But I've kind of missed Flint Napping. I've been away for a little bit, mainly out of town. Started up school. I've already graduated college, but more schooling doesn't hurt. That was not what I wanted. But yeah, so I've been away a little bit. But I'm back. I have an individual who sent me this here, which is some raw Burlington, I think, or Keokuk. I want to say he said Burlington. Need to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Now, he sent me a couple styles, Dalton, a Scott's Bluff, I think, and another one. I have to look at the photos he sent. It is raw. It is a little bit crusty, but I think there's some good stuff in there. Might have to heat it up. I've also never heated anything this big. It's doable though, and I've got a good enough size kiln to do it. But if any of you are flint nappers and you have an idea what to heat this, I'm probably going to heat it to 450 just to give it a shot. You know, I don't want to overheat it and mess it up. But that's just a little internal seam there. That's nothing but. Yeah, I'll probably heat it up 450, see what that does. If it needs more, it needs more. It's a good piece of coastal too, but it has some fossils and stuff. There's another variety of coastal. I've been hitting into some coastal earlier. Maybe I know I did a video on it a while back, but I did a little more off camera. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and set up what we can draw off this backside. You can see it's already translucent. Now Marshall, somebody mentioned in a previous video, he escaped out the garage. Well, the garage is closed. So, hey buddy, you say hey to everybody up here? Yeah, right there. This is Marshall. He's my new doggy. He's been good. He obeys, but he's needy. Just gonna change direction here. Again, gotta even out the base, so I might as well take care of this. And this little edge here is a little bit more, I can kind of get in that little nook a little bit easier. Take advantage. So I hit that nook to raise this up a little bit, and now this needs to be brought down. And so I'm gonna take my opportunity to strike across and thin this out too. Okay, just a little bit. Now, if I had an option as to a finished point here, and let's say something gave way and I broke it, I'd want this to be the tip, obviously, and I want this down here to be the base, because that's the longest point. But I know we got it kind of like that right now, and that's cool. That's what we're going with. But also, this is the higher quality side. I mean, it's just, this thing's gonna be see-through as see-through can get. So, what do we do from here? Well, I think I'm gonna run one right there. Actually, notice this. As it relates to these flakes here, we already flaked into there, and now it's just kind of, I don't know how well you can see this. It gets thicker here, and I'd rather get the thicker part out, thin it out, and then we can run over, if that makes any sense. You don't always need to isolate at this stage if you know what you're doing. Okay. Get rid of these deltas. This will be a neat little flake removal. Nice. Okay. All right, now these we can just run over pretty easily. And honestly, let me see now. Let me see something here. May want to just go ahead and take off the back side. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do, save this other flake for later. Or I could take it now. Nah. This is more pressing. It's more pressing of a matter here. There we are. Look how that just gouged out so much. You can already see the translucence there. I mean, come on, that's awesome. That is awesome. Now, the way this is going this way, I could totally do that, run it over, and then run some flakes over. May have to actually, because this isn't low enough. Yeah, it's not nearly low enough. Actually, nope. The way that it feels, I think I can get away with it. I think I gotta hit these first though. Sometimes when you feel the point, it just tells you something different. It says, yeah, you should do that, or no, you shouldn't do that. Kind of whispers in your ear. See, that wasn't all that great. But it was needed to, turn the edge. What I mean is it caused a little bit of a ridge here. Now all this flattened it out great. You see the flake scars, but this right here, we're gonna have to get that out. We got a couple ways to do it. We're still early in the process. Let's try this here. Well, I did it. That's all it really took. was a good gouge flake. All right, we about flipped the edge enough. We now can turn the edge like that, isolate a bit. And then have a really nice flake removal that should go quite a ways. Yeah, pretty solid. Okay. Kind of serves as isolation. This one does too. Kind of isolating a few things. Okay, this is kind of a low spot, so I'm going to flake off the back. This might be a gouger, but it'll do the job. Yeah. Yeah. So it was a gouger, but it did the job, literally as I said. Pretty smart. Sometimes. Anyways, getting a nice little old freeform. That's about all I want to do for today. Nothing crazy, just gonna get in here and do a little bit. Enjoy getting back into napping. That was weird. Oh, there was a little fossil there. Okay, not a problem. Good. It did stall out, but we can catch it. Like that. And if we can get by this fossil here. Yeah, we caught it. Cool. So the base is pretty flattened out, and you can see we got some translucence. Just got to thin out the rest, and we'll be golden. But like I said, I'm gonna end it here. Yeah, might as well. Some Alabama Coastal, and signing off. Catch you on the next one.